Everyone can visualize, but not everyone has the same natural ability to attract the things that they're visualizing. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to visualize correctly. And we're first going to look at who has a natural ability to attract the things that they want in their lives. Now, there's this thing called the lower eyelid factor, and it indicates the amount of suggestibility or the amount of doubt or of skepticism, that you have in your life. Now, why is this important? Why is the lower eyelid factor really important for your natural ability to attract the things that you want in your life? Well, if you're a person that is very, very skeptic in general, and you're scoring high on the lower eyelid factor, that means that in your unconscious mind, you have a lot of protective layers, okay? And these protective layers are there to tell you, this might not happen, this maybe is not a good idea, and it's creating a lot of limitation on your unconscious mind. So when you're feeding it suggestions, visualization suggestions, when you're visualizing and you're saying, I want my future to be like this, that part of your unconscious mind is putting a hard brake on it and is saying, no, this is not going to happen. And it is blocking it from going forward because you have too much skepticism. Now, I'm going to show you how to bypass that in this video. But first, what I want to show you is at which level of skepticism you naturally are resting at. And this is something that street hypnotists will use all the time to know who they can hypnotize and who they cannot hypnotize. So if you are on a lower scale, where you have level 1, for instance, of the lower eyelid factor, what you're going to see is that here under the eye, it's going to be very, very smooth. There's not going to be any line. I'm not talking about the lines of tiredness right here, but I'm talking about a hard line, okay? And I'm not talking about the lines on the side of the eye, but just underneath the line, underneath the eye here. So people who are level 1 on the lower eyelid factor is going to have no line whatsoever. It's going to be all smooth. That means they're very, very, very suggestible, very open. And that's going to be the type of person that's going to be much more easy to manifest and attract the things that they want in their lives. If you look at all these manifestation gurus or law of attraction gurus out there, if you zoom in on their eyes, you will see it's all smooth here. There's no lines. Now, the second level is level 2, and that's going to be with 1 or maybe 2 lines underneath the eye right here. And that indicates a level of skepticism. I would call it a healthy level of skepticism. That means that sometimes you're squinting a lot, you're not too sure. And when you squint like this, you're creating these lines throughout your life. These people, they can still attract the things that they're visualized relatively easy. A little bit more challenging than the people who have totally smooth under the eyes, but they can still do it. Now, if you have 3, 4, 5 lines under the eyelid right here, once again, not on the side, but under the eyelid right here, and also you have a little discoloration on the side right here, that indicates that you have had a lot of doubt in your life, that you're very skeptic in general, which isn't a bad thing in and of itself, but it just means that it's harder for you to attract the things that you want when you visualize it. And in this video, I'm going to show you ways that if you fall within that category, it's going to help you manifest things a lot faster in your life. And if you don't show these signs, it's going to be exponentially better for you. So without further ado, what we're going to do is that we're going to go into visualization exercises together. And I'm going to show you how different your visualization can be, how different it can feel, and how real it can feel by just tweaking a few things. And once you start visualizing this way, you're going to see that it feels a lot more real. And because it feels a lot more real, first of all, you're bypassing that skepticism, but also it allows you to attract these things in your life much, much more easier than if it didn't feel with that level of realism. So we're going to first have your baseline right now. So what I want you to do is bring to mind something that you did either this morning or yesterday. So just notice the amount of details that you perceive. And I want you to make a mental snapshot of that visualization. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to jump into how we can 10x that feeling of realism and how we can start attracting the things in our life much easier. So, as I mentioned, one of the key components is to be open, okay? Open to the possibilities that this can happen to you. And we're going to do a very, very quick exercise right now to open your unconscious mind to the possibilities that this can happen. So all I want you to do is follow along. So I want you to close your eyes, open your eyes. Close your eyes, open your eyes. Close your eyes, open your eyes. And what you've done right now is that you've just told your unconscious mind that you're willing to listen to the instructions, that you're open to the possibilities that this can happen, and you're open to receiving the instructions I'm giving you. Now, just to drive the point a little bit deeper for your unconscious mind, I just want you to lift your right arm and lift your left arm. Put them down. All right? So now that your unconscious mind has been primed, what we're going to do is that we're going to start visualizing. So I want you to go back to that moment that you've picked earlier. And I want you to be associated within your body, meaning that you can see your hands and legs and so on and so forth. And now I want you to start describing out loud. This is very, very important. I want you to start describing out loud the things that you see. Now, it might be uncomfortable because there might be some people around. So if there's some people around and you don't want to speak out loud, what I want you to do is mouth the words just by moving your lips like this and speak at an extremely low level. And there's a reason for this, and I'll explain in a few moments. But what I want you to do is start describing the scenes that you are seeing in your mind. So let me give you an example. So right now, let's say I'm visualizing something that happened this morning, right? I can say, okay, I'm in my bed and there's the blue duvet on top of me. And I can see little wrinkles in the blue duvet. And I can feel this blue duvet on my arms. And as I open my eyes, I can see the white ceiling and the lights on the ceiling. And I start describing the lights. And I want you to describe the feelings, the sound, the visuals that you see, feel, and hear. And as you're doing this, notice how that visualization, it becomes more real and more real and more real. There's more details than the first visualization that you did. And just go through this exercise right now. Take your time and start describing everything. Now, what we're going to do is that we're going to use something called perceptual positions. And I teach this in my course, The Future Self Switch, where I teach you how to switch into your ideal future you so that you can start attracting and manifesting the things that you want. So we're going to use this concept called perceptual positions. And what perceptual position is a very fancy term for different perspectives. And we're going to take a totally different perspective right now. So I want you to imagine that there's a security camera that is right above you or in the room where you are. And from that security camera, I want you to go in the security room and watch the footage of the security camera of you doing the action that you're visualizing. Okay? So you're watching yourself through a security camera feed. And from that perspective, that's going to be top down, you can see a lot of things that when you are in your body, you cannot see. That camera can move up, down, left, right. It can move in different direction. And you can start noticing a lot of different things in the room that you did not notice initially. And I want you to describe out loud the things that you're seeing when you are watching through that security camera feed. Now, there's a reason why I'm asking you to describe out loud the things that you're seeing. First of all, when we visualize, most people believe that visualizing is only seeing, but visualizing is seeing, hearing, feeling, also sometimes tasting. So when we have those images in our mind, we're using what's called the visual component. When we have sound, it's auditory component. And when there's feelings, touch, or sensation, there's kinesthetic component. So when you're speaking out loud, the things that you're seeing, you are not only having the visual component, but you're also merging the auditory component. And by moving your lips, you're also merging the kinesthetic component. So we're really using all the aspects of our brains to create a well-formed visualization at that point, and it ingrains within our unconscious mind much, much, much deeper. So I'm going to leave you a few moments to visualize from that security camera perspective. And just go ahead, turn the camera up and down, left and right, zoom in on different things, and describe the things that you see. Now notice how that visualization is totally different in terms of feeling than the first visualization that you did. Now there's levels of details that was not there the first time around. There's a first time that's associated, there is that level of the security camera. And what I want you to do right now is go back into the picture. But I don't want you to go back into your body. We're going to be disassociated right now. We're going to be in another position. We're going to be on the side of you, okay? So you're right here and you're on the side. But I want you to become your 5 or 4, 8 or 7 years old you. So you're a kid. So I want you to be, you see yourself right here and you're a kid right there. The kid is below, right? Because you're short. And you can look at your pants and maybe you see your pajamas and you look at your hands and they're kid hands. And maybe you can see your kid's shirt, a shirt that you had when you were a child. And just take a few moments to really make sure you're into the child version of yourself. And this is going to have tremendous benefits. So make sure that before you start visualizing things around you, you're in the child version of yourself. And when you're in the child version of yourself, I want you to notice that as a child, you have a totally different perspective of that situation. Not only visually do you have a different perspective of that situation, but also maybe emotionally you have a different perspective of that situation. As a child looking at the grown-up you, do you have any feelings towards the grown-up you? Feelings of happiness, feelings of sorrow, feelings of hope. And those might color the things that you see and hear and feel. And even if you don't have any emotional feelings like this, notice how it feels to be at a lower level and to see a grown-up doing those things. It might be louder than life, it might be bigger than life. And the details are going to start becoming very different from that perspective. Take your time to observe the room, observe the situation as a child, as the younger you. Observe the room and observe you. And now we're going to go in the total opposite. We're going to go into the 95 years old version of you, right? The old version of you. the you that is wise beyond years, right? The you that has lived, the you that has seen everything, right? Being so old and wise, 95 or 96 years old, whatever, right? You can look at your younger self and say, buddy, everything's going to be okay, right? It's all going to work out in the end. And I know all is working out in the end because look at me, I'm 95 years old. I didn't die. Everything worked out in the end, right? I'm still alive and I'm 95 or 99 years old. So everything did work out. And from that perspective, maybe your eyesight is not as good. Maybe your hearing is not as good. But because your eyesight, because your hearing, because your emotional connection is different, you're going to start noticing different things in the room. And you can start noticing from that older you, that younger you that is there, that is your age, can say, oh, I have so much teaching to give you about this particular situation. Right? Maybe the older you can teach you, oh my God, you're learning how to visualize properly right now. And throughout your life, you're going to use that skill. Just spend some time here to really soak it in, because it's going to change your life, and I know it will. And now what I want you to do is just go back into yourself from that old 95 years old you. Go back into yourself and open your eyes and just look at me. And I want you to notice the amount of details of realism that you've experienced through these different perspectives of visualization that is totally different from the initial visualization that you've done. First of all, it is more different because you are open to it. But I want you to notice something too. One of the best ways to attract the things that you want in your lives is to picture yourself as the older you that already has those things. And you visualize yourself as if you already have those things. Now, it's very difficult for a lot of people to do this. But what did we just do right here by being that 95 years old us? That's exactly what we did. We were able to go to a future self and look back to our past self. We did something similar as a young us. We were able to look to the future and see how great we turned out. Maybe we didn't turn out exactly the way we wanted to, but we could have turned out a lot worse, right? And so when you start using these different positions and use them sequentially, like I showed you, first within your body, then detached, then the young you, then the old you, you start having a complete picture of the thing that you're visualizing. And that tells your unconscious mind, this is going to happen because I see a complete picture. This bypasses the skepticism because you've seen it from a different perspective. And it feels true because it is true, right? And so if you do have these lines, a lot of lines underneath your eye right here, the lower eyelid factor number 3, for instance, then doing this technique is really going to help you to attract things in your life. And if it's smooth underneath it, it's going to skyrocket it because it's just going to pile on a pile of evidence of what you are visualizing. I hope this makes sense. Last but certainly not least, if you like this video, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, and bye for now.